Since the original audio of this video got deleted because of a community guidelines violation, I shall tell a different story. So, my first boyfriend, whose actual name is Ben, he does not get the gift of staying anonymous because fuck him. He was horrible to me, and I've talked about him a lot on my TikTok, and the only person that I ever told, because I was scared to ever tell anyone, was my best friend at the time. And I didn't tell my family, I didn't tell anyone. So when he and I broke up, no one believed how bad he was because I'd never said anything, and I just seemed like the bitter ex-girlfriend. And ironically enough, the only person I told was my best friend, and she is now dating him, and they're planning on getting married and spending their lives together. So the only person who knows the truth is the one who ended up with him. And if that is just not some major fuckery, I do not know what is. So good for them. I'm happy that they're happy together. About a year into my relationship with my ex-fiance, he said that it was one of his coworkers' birthdays and asked if I wanted to go out to celebrate with everyone. I told him yes, and then he asked me if we could pick her up because she didn't have a ride to the nightclub, and I told him of course. We went to her house, went inside, had a drink with her, got in the car, drove to the nightclub, and met about 20 to 25 of their coworkers there. Throughout the night, he kept asking me to dance with her, and I thought it was weird because I didn't know her at all. Eventually, I decided I'd dance with her since it was her birthday and she seemed like she wanted to have fun. We went out on the dance floor and started dancing, and at one point I looked back and I noticed that all of the coworkers were laughing with my ex. I thought maybe he told a joke and didn't really think anything of it. In the end, I found out that that was the girl he was cheating on me with, and they weren't laughing because someone told a joke. They were laughing because I was the joke. Not only was he cheating on me, but everyone knew about it, and they decided that it was the perfect time to humiliate me unknowingly. When I was 15 years old, my very best friend in the whole entire world told me that he loved me, and I quite literally slammed the car door in his face, and I went on to get into a 5-year-long relationship with the sensible guy, because you see, my best friend, he was the bad boy of our school, and I knew my dad wouldn't approve. So I got into a relationship with the guy that I knew my dad would love, and he would do and say all the right things. He went on to mentally and emotionally abuse me and give me an internal voice that I still haven't been able to get rid of to this day. And directly after him, I dated probably the second worst person in the world for another 4 years. And everything that my first boyfriend didn't do to me mentally and emotionally, this guy made sure that the damage was done. And I often think about, if I had dated my best friend who told me he loved me, how things would be different. And since then, I've learned a thing or two about listening to your heart and following it, because sometimes it's right. Before I tell the next story about ex-fiance, I just want to go on the record saying that I will never stay in another relationship where I've been cheated on, unless there's kids involved, or maybe those circumstances will change my mind. But as of right now, I'll never be in another relationship after I've been cheated on, because I tried to make it work with ex-fiance after he cheated on me, and it just was never the same. It was just never good again. So after he cheated on me, we went to couples counseling, and the counselor promised me that everything was going to be okay, and he was a good guy, and blah, 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 blah. So I stuck it out, and we worked through it, and whatever. And 2 years after he cheated on me, he proposed to me, and that's how he became my fiance, because I said yes. And a week to the day after he proposed to me, he turned his location on his phone off and disappeared for the entire night. And I searched every single nightclub in downtown Honolulu all night long. He called me from his friend's apartment at 5:30 the next morning and demanded I pick him up, and he'd been with that girl, and I threw the engagement ring in his face. I know the world of TikTok wants to hear that when things ended with my ex-fiance, I kicked him in the balls or beat him up or did something really horrible to him, and honestly, you guys, I didn't, because I fell out of love. It happened so slow, I didn't even know it was happening, and then one day I woke up and I just knew that I was done, I was out of love, and I didn't care about him anymore. And every time he was mad at me, he told me that I would never leave him, I would never fall out of love with him, and so when I did, he was just absolutely shocked. I didn't cry, I wasn't mad, I didn't show any emotions. I told him it was over, and I moved forward doing everything I needed to do to separate all of the things we had together. And when everything was said and done, he cried, he begged, he wrote me letters, he talked to all of my friends and family to ask what he could do. He did everything that he could, and I was 100% sure and I was done, and that broke his heart more than anything I could have ever said or did. I was sort of giggling to myself although it's not funny because it was very traumatizing at the time. But ex-fiance, I don't know, had this thing about my body that he just hated it, but he was too much of a pussy to ever leave me because of it, even though he looked like a fucking uncooked ramen noodle, but whatever. So every time we would have sex, he would like tell me that he was gonna close his eyes because he couldn't stand to look at me. I don't know why I ever put up with that, but I honestly thought no one was ever gonna love me for how I looked or want to look at me, so I just put up with it because I thought that's the best I could ever have. But I was giggling because now my current partner, every time he hears the closet door open, he knows I'm gonna take my shirt off to change, and he runs from wherever he is just to get a show. And it just made me giggle because it just goes to show that there is someone out there for everyone, and that someone will love you for just the way you are. I've spent a lot of time on this channel talking about ex-fiance, and I have told some stories about my first boyfriend, B, but I haven't talked a lot about him. And interestingly enough, even though ex-fiance did things that I feel like conventionally you would consider much more traumatizing, the things that B did to me have stayed with me much longer and have been much harder for me to overcome. And the other day I was at a coffee shop, and it got me thinking about how B used to not allow me to drink coffee. So he would not let me buy coffee at the store. He would go with me everywhere that I went to the store so that I couldn't buy it. And every day that he came home from work, he would check the trash cans to make sure that I hadn't like broken any of his rules and went and bought myself coffee. And the fucking joke was on him because I used to go to a coffee shop every morning before I went to school and buy coffee and drink the entire thing before I get home and throw it away in the neighbor's trash can. So fuck you. For the purpose of this video and community guideline violations, I'm gonna be saying P*ities, but I'm hoping y'all can infer what I'm talking about. So in 5th grade, I had literally nothing on my chest, like nothing at all. I got made fun of, and all my friends did. And then from 5th grade to 7th grade, I was like a D overnight. And I came to school and I was super awkward looking because I had these like huge knockers on my chest. And this boy looked me dead in the eye and he said, "You have P*ities." And I was horrified. I still remember the feeling of embarrassment. And ever since that day, I have covered them up and been so self-conscious of them. And it is something I'm really working on. Like, I'm working on embracing my body more because I'm really not self-conscious except for that one thing. And it's weird because now it's trendy. Hey, buttercream babes. Did we like that one better? I'm still trying to test them out. So I know the exact moment that I became a hopeless romantic, and it was a story that my mom told me, so I thought since I'm making a Mother's Day cake, I would tell you that story today, at least the short version. So one day in elementary school, I came home and I'd made a friend, and her name was Rebecca. I told my mom about it because I was really excited, and my mom gave me a funny look and told me that she had a story for me. And she sat me down and we talked about how she had a friend in high school who was with an older guy and her parents didn't approve, and her parents said that if he came back when she was 18 and they had kind of weathered that storm, that they would allow it. And he showed up at midnight on her 18th birthday on their doorstep with a ring and asked for her hand in marriage, and her parents let him. And they lived happily ever after and had a family, and one of their kids was my friend Rebecca. And I was in tears at the end of the story, and I made my mom tell it to me for months every night at bed. And that's when I